During this tutorial, we're going to look at how to use the CD audio object. So I'm going to create a new application, go to frame 1, and then we'll insert a CD audio, and then we'll also insert a button. So we're going to make a few buttons here. First, this is going to be our play button. Okay. So now I'm going to go to the event editor of frame 1 and new condition. When this play button is clicked, then we want it to play a track and continue. So the track is going to be, it's going to start at track number 1. Okay. And then we're going to go back to frame 1. I'll clone this so that we can have a pause button. Now I'll go back into the event editor, and we will say if this new button that we just made is clicked, then we would want our CD audio to pause. Okay. So now we can, how about a next button so that we can skip to the next track. Let's right click, clone the object, and we'll make this button called next. Now into the event editor, and then if this next button is clicked, then we will want to go to the next track. Now let's see if we clone this again, we can make a previous button. And then what we can do is we can go into our event editor and we can say if this button is clicked, then we want it to go to the previous track. And then one more thing we can do is see how we have this set to play from track 1. See if we paused, this is not going to work, because if we pause our audio and then we play it again, it'll start at track 1 again, and we want it to start back at where it was. So when we pause it, I'm going to create a global value. In values, new value. Okay, so now we have this global value A. It's going to be set at 1 at the start of the application. And then what we're going to do is we're going to, when the button 2 is paused, then we're going to set our global value A to and then we'll retrieve data from an object, and then the CD audio object, and we will record the position in disk. So now it's going to set global value A to the position so that we can save where we were. And then when we play from track 1, we're going to have to edit this so it plays from wherever or whatever our global value A is set to. So we'll choose special and retrieve a global value, and that would be global value A, and then we'll press OK. Now one more button I need to add is our stop button. So I'm going to clone this and rename it as stop. And then I'm going to go into our event editor, and then when our stop button is clicked, then we want to stop. And we want to reset. We're going to change our global value back to 1 so that when we press play again, it'll start from the beginning. So now let's test our application. Going to get a CD. I'll put this CD in my drive. Okay, and now I'll run our application. Now, let's cancel out of this default menu that comes up. Now we can see that it is playing and now I can pause it. I can choose next track. Now we hear the next track. Go back to our previous track. And then I can go to our next track.
Here we go, this field.
Stop this. We've stopped it now. And one thing we noticed is right when we opened our application, it started playing. And that has to do with the properties of our CD audio object. So I'm going to close this. And then I'll choose CD audio here. And see play track at start. We're going to unclick that. And then we're going to leave these like that. And then we have our position controls, runtime, our behaviors, and our about controls. So I'm going to test this again. And now we see nothing is happening. And now if I press play, we can see that our audio is starting to play. We can skip through all of our tracks.
Wow.
Stop this, and then we can see if we play it again, then we're back at the beginning. So I'm going to close this, and that's going to be all for our CD audio object today.